There is a weapon more dangerous than words, more magnetic than beauty, and more unforgettable than charm. That weapon is silence. Most women fear silence. They rush to fill it with chatter, explanations, reassurances. They confuse talking with connecting. But a woman who commands silence bends reality in her favor. She is never rushed. She never seeks approval. And she lets others drown in the noise they create, while she controls the room without saying a word. Why is silence so powerful? Because words reveal too much. They betray your eagerness, your doubt, your hunger to be understood. And hunger is weakness. A clever rival or an ambitious man will seize on every word you give them. In negotiations, the one who talks most loses. The one who waits, who holds back, who lets others fumble in the dark, controls the frame. The same truth governs seduction. The man who spills every secret in the first hour becomes ordinary, and the woman who nervously overshares, she destroys her own mystery. Silence, on the other hand, forces imagination. People project onto you. They invent your thoughts, your desires, your secrets, and in doing so, they become entangled. There is an ancient law: what is hidden is always more desirable than what is revealed. When you stay silent, you cloak yourself in shadow, and shadow seduces more than light. It makes people lean closer, desperate to see what is concealed. Picture this: a dinner table buzzing with noise, everyone talking, voices colliding, egos competing. You sit still, you smile faintly, sip your glass, and let the chaos whirl around you. Your silence becomes a gravitational pull. They wonder what you're thinking. They crave your reaction. Without effort, you dominate. This is the paradox of silence. By withdrawing, you pull harder. Ordinary women talk to prove themselves. Extraordinary women withhold, and in withholding, they prove everything. Men are not seduced by constant words. They are seduced by tension. And tension requires space, the pause before a kiss, the glance that lingers too long, the unanswered message. When you master silence, you create a void, and humans cannot bear voids. They will rush to fill it, with confessions, with attention, with pursuit. A man who cannot predict you is a man who cannot control you. Silence ensures he never fully possesses you. He will keep chasing, endlessly hungry for more. But silence is not only seductive, it is lethal in conflict. Imagine someone insults you, tries to provoke you. The weak woman reacts, explains herself, fires back. The powerful woman, she says nothing. Her stillness humiliates more than any insult could. Silence says, "You are beneath me." That is why queens never argue with servants. Their silence is the final verdict. In war, silence has always been a weapon. Generals pause before striking. Predators wait in stillness before attacking. The one who can remain calm while others scream wins. When you practice silence in conflict, you deny the enemy the fight they crave. They swing at shadows. Their rage exhausts them. And in the end, your calm becomes their humiliation. But silence is not absence. It is a mirror. When you say nothing, people reveal themselves. They ramble, confess, and over-explain. They project their fears and desires onto you, and without lifting a finger, you gather information. Picture a man across the table, desperate to impress you. If you tilt your head and remain silent, He escalates. He reveals insecurity, brags too much, contradicts himself. He hands you every weapon to use later. This is why interrogators rely on silence. A question is easy to resist. A silence after a question is unbearable. People rush to break it. And so silence is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of control. For centuries, women were told to be agreeable, to fill silence with sweetness, to soften every pause with chatter. But the dark feminine reclaims silence as defiance. To sit in silence is to declare, I am the prize. I will move when I choose, and you will wait. This is not passivity, this is dominance. But how do you wield silence in daily life? In conversation, speak less than others. Do not compete with noise. Let your brevity intrigue. The less you reveal, the more they pursue. In texting, delay replies strategically, not to play childish games, but to show you exist beyond their reach. Your world is full. You are not waiting by a screen. In conflict, hold the pause. Breathe. Meet their eyes. Let them feel the weight of your silence. It crushes the ego far deeper than words. In seduction, use silence to build unbearable tension. The glance that lingers. The pause before you lean closer. The unanswered message that keeps him restless. In power games, withhold when others expect reaction. Their impatience betrays them. Your stillness crowns you. Silence creates an illusion of depth. Even if you are uncertain, silence makes you appear composed, calculating, untouchable. People assume silence means wisdom. They assume you know more than you reveal. And in a world where everyone overshares, the one who withholds becomes irresistible. History remembers women who mastered silence. Cleopatra, who conquered Caesar and Antony, not with endless chatter, but with pauses that lured men into obsession. Josephine, whose silence enslaved Napoleon's heart, driving him mad with longing. Wallis Simpson, who enthralled a king through restraint, never revealing all, always leaving him unsettled. These women knew silence was not absence, it was presence, a presence so heavy it bent the will of men. But silence is not only historical. Think of the women you've met who haunt you most. Was it the one who overshared every thought? Or the one who left you wondering, unsettled, guessing? Mystery burns longer than certainty. Even mythology knew this truth. Medusa never spoke much. Her power was in her gaze. The sirens of the sea lured men not with endless explanation, but with haunting pauses between notes. The goddess Hecate, mistress of shadows, held power not through chatter, but through silence that made mortals tremble. To master silence is to master anticipation. It is to turn absence into presence. It is to let the world ache for your words, and to give them only when you choose. So when was the last time you allowed silence to work for you? When was the last time you let it seduce, dominate, and protect you? Remember this: in a world of endless noise, the woman who speaks least is remembered most. Silence is not emptiness, it is magnetism, it is strategy, it is a crown. And the woman who wears silence as her weapon becomes unforgettable. Because the truth is simple, the quietest woman is always the most dangerous.